Going live.
Huh?
It says I'm going live.
Did you try to schedule it for 7 or is it for 6:45 or?
Mm-mm. I'll email this to you.
So you will have enough battery? Oh, if you.
It's at 90%. I'll bring my charger though.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to figure out. There must be a way to get the quality up a bit.
Maybe by getting OBS Studio Advanced.
Maybe. It's open software though, so I don't know why.
What is the stream key?
That's what I have.
No, I'm installing that same software. I guess I don't have one yet.
Oh, that's what one thing we could do. We could just install the software on Mom or Jonah's computer and then use my account, but then put in the stream key that I have into their software, and that should work.
So I don't have. So the stream key is your number. So I need to wait till YouTube gives me that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So you can't find the link?
No, I sent it to you. I emailed it to you. I told you.
I'm looking. Now I'm looking. And so that will be live. What time? When will that be live?
It's live right now.
So it's just going to be whenever you're on the computer?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's like better than the Facebook one, but not good. I mean, it's just so low quality though.
I just think it's so dark. Yeah. Go take it somewhere else. I don't know if I can hear you.
Oh, we didn't test that, huh?
I can't hear you right now.
I need to add a audio device.
Never mind, it's probably.
Oh.
Go up to me.
Oh.
I think you're good.
Oh.
I think you're good. I can get it now.
Oh. Should I try Jenna's computer? See if it's any better? There's feedback. Oh, wait. Should I try Jenna's computer? Really delayed feedback. See if it's any better? There's feedback. Oh, wait. Should I try Jenna's computer? Really delayed feedback. See if it's any better? It's building up. There's feedback. Oh, wait, yeah. Should I try Jenna's computer? Really delayed feedback. See if it's any better? It's building up. This is cool. But also, there's feedback. Oh, wait, yeah. Should I try Jenna's computer? Really delayed feedback. See if it's any better? It's building up. This is cool. I mean, they're just gonna look at me.
I they need to know that there's going to be.
Yeah, send it now. Just let them know that it won't be ready really until whenever we start the thing.
Like if you want to use mine, you can. It's just charging right now over here.
Okay, so I need to download some software on it.
Okay, can you do it over here?
Yeah. And then I need to shower. Fred.
Was it easy to take this week off of work?
They didn't give me any problems other than I went to work yesterday expecting, well, I had to do something at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I ended up staying till 3:30 because of all the stuff. When I announced I was going to take the rest of the week off, then all of a sudden everybody came in and said, oh, I have to have this today. So
you gotta leave and just be like, I'm out.
yeah.
No, my supervisor did that on Friday. On Friday, I tried to leave at like noon.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being
Said,
like
do
3.
one thing, and then someone else comes in and says, oh, I need one thing, or you know, yeah, and then it just takes forever.
Yeah. Well, and because I'm going to be out, like, there's certain things that I normally do that it's like other people know how to do, but like, there's already going to be multiple people out this week, and so we're already short staffed, and like, because it's still kind of holiday travel time. So.
Is it still downloading something?
It's doing a software update.
Oh. I think there was one update maybe I hadn't done.
I figure I might as well, because otherwise I'll keep putting it off, as I do with my phone. How charged is it?
42%.
How much battery did it have when you started? Because it was sitting in the box for like a week or something.
60.
60, okay. So it lost over that. I guess it was on the whole time. It was just asleep because when you picked it up, it was already.
I mean, that's not bad though. Like I feel.
Yeah, I think the battery is okay in that, and it's got 128 megabytes.
What you want goes.
We could always bring, I mean, there's another table there.
That's the broken one.
So we could bring in another one.
Yeah, we may do that.
Can you see what it's showing?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
The ideal
I think make it so it
lower
goes. Yeah.
the people. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
So tell you, these two books, that one is a bad book that has a lot of pictures of them like in Belmont. you kind of do it chronologically, no, you're not over here.
Like you're trying to do her older years on one side?
I think it's,
Wait, how are you doing chronology?
chronology being childhood, marriage, and all that. We don't have to, yeah, we should go. This is These are the, decide how much of the stuff you want. So this picture is my work, isn't it?
Do you want me to move this art over there?
I'm thinking we're
They're
gonna
gonna put other
other stuff there and make it work, yeah.
portrait of you.
I wouldn't spend too much time on that one, because that's mostly, what the, we want her shirt and it's. Here's one of her classes teaching. Guys, should we test it on my?
Or like,
Yeah.
leave it running somewhere else. Or like, I brought the plug, it's in that. So if you want to keep it charging.
Yeah, we shouldn't drain the battery too much. Should be on in like a few seconds.
You sure? Well, now you sound well. Talking to the microphone, I'm gonna go get
Okay.
I'm gonna go in the hallway.
You guys actually tried? There's that over there.
Testing out the. All right, I'm going to talk. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Anyone there? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I am.
No, the microphone.
Oh.
No, you're yeah, you did some really good. We have other ones.
Don't. Your switch is on. I think it'll be fine, but I'm close. Here, let me just stand here and see. Is there any zooming on it? Or just...
No, but that's what you see from like far away, right? No, I don't know.
Do we want to move, we can move it closer?
It's a little too in your face though for somebody to see. It's a little in your face anyway, but I guess you can turn the brightness down. Should I stop streaming? Should I stop streaming?
I mean, that's why it's sometimes good to have it from the back. But
From
bring it closer. That's probably better than it used to be. Bring it up closer and we'll just see where it would be. I'll let him know. He probably wandered out for a minute, but I'll let him know.
Test. Wait. Can you hear?
Hey.
Test.
Yeah, that's great.
Test.
It's coming in fine on here. So Talia did want to do a candle run.
She did?
But she's over there somewhere.
Shalom, Rob.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Fine. How are you?
And I see you're going to do security Thank you. Whatever, there'll be more than what they have.
Well,
I thought that was a nice one.
I have to make it something else.
No, I think it's nice.
Where are you coming from?
The question is, can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me? Are you able to hear? Okay, good. That's all.
Yeah.
No, we will not hear you. You can wait, make whatever noise you want to make. It's wonderful. What would you like to do? It's like a 15-second delay. Good.
Yeah. What do you think? Me, Sherry,
Turn out.
Ron, sorry, David.
I'll show you. What do I do?
Thank God.
What we'll do is we'll show people later. So YouTube doesn't let you stream them.
Thank you.
Well, and thank you for the graciousness, generosity. Yeah.
Of course. That's how they receive it. You'll see us in. So rather than in the interim, just say, last night you were saying something about releasing it in the interim or something?
Well, not in the interim.
Oh, okay, okay. I got you. Okay.
No, I have another $100. Someone bumped into me during Shiva and essentially told me about it. It wasn't that bad, but it was cool. My daughter in the car, someone was just, we were just waiting on a red light. I guess we start facing this way. I am ready. The family is ready. Online, on the air. I think it's on. Everyone is ready. Okay. I think we should remove this mess and
Here.
why not front row? Is a good place. Sorry about this. You don't all fit here.
He was pretty.
Yeah. When I left there,
Friends, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Corey Helfand. I'm the rabbi here at Princess Sinai, along with Cantor Doron Shapira. We're going to begin this evening with the evening service Ma'ariv on page 264 in the red books in front of you or below your seats. And at the very end, we will transition into the memorial service for Maxine. For now, if you're able to, I invite you to please stand on page 264.
Adonai Hoshia, Melech Yonenu v'Yom Kovenu. Barechu et Adonai Hamevorach.
be seated, middle of the page.
תמידים לא חלנו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים. עבד עולם בית ישראל, עמך תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיאת מבוקר ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו והם נגן יומם ולילה, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו והם נגן יומם ולילה, והערת תעשה ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובבטחה בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד בידיך, והיו תחתות בין עיניך, ופתחת על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Continue quietly, page 266.
ורצון קיבלו עליהם, משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו, שירה ושמחה רבה ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך אדוני, מי כמוך הקודש, נורדי לו ראו בניך בוקר ים לפני משה, זה לי אנוכי אמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. נאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום. צאתנו וראינו לכם שלום ותארי עד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני שומר עמו ישראל לעם.
We're in the middle of page 269.
יתקדר ויתקדש שם רבה, ועלמה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי יכולנו ביום יכולנו בחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. ישמר רבה מברך לעולם לא נעמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשם לילה מתגברה בשירתה, ושמחתה ונחמתה דמירם ואמרו אמן.
able to, I invite you to please stand as we pray quietly now, pages 270 through 278. In the Hebrew, the English are your own personal prayers.
Shalom Aleinu ve'al Yisrael, Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Yisrael, Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Yisrael, Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We continue with Kaddish Shalem, page 280.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברק יהודה וימליך מלכות חייכון ומכון חי לחופית ישראל תגלה בזמן קריב וימרו. אמן. יהי שמי רב מבורך, לעולם ועד יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתאמר ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה על שמי לקודשה. אמן. נביא בבירתה ושירתה תוש וחטא ותחמתה דמירן בעלמא נעימהו.
אמן.
ויתקבל צלותנו ובאותנו בכל ישראל קדם אבן ושמיים ואימהו.
אמן.
נשמור עלינו בית שמיים וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימהו. אמן. עושה שלום במעמיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימהו. אמן.
Would you please stand? עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת ולעשות בראשית, שלא עשו ממנו לעשות, ולא שמה במשפחות האדמה, שלא שמה בגן להם, וכל עלינו ככל עוונם, אנחנו קוראים, שנתבים ולאוהבים, אלוהים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרות בשמיים עמם, ושכינת עוזו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו ואינו, הם מלכנו ופסולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, ועדת היום והשבותה, אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים עמם, ועל הארץ מתחת עינינו. כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. This week we mark the Yortzites of Vera Kipnis, Zalmira Vintas, Selma Shapiro, Bernice Parrish, Samson Buglick, R. Vicky Gold, Joanne Mann, Pearl Rashbus Turner, Jack Menashe, Yaakov Kaplan, Faye Ruth Weir, Stanley Sokol, Sophia Levy, Gladys Werline Clark, Bertha Shekett Brown, and Irving Sternhill. We extend our condolences to the Golan family, the Golan-Strieb family, of the passing of Maxine. Are there any other Yortzites this week?
Matt Schwartz.
May the memories and doors of blessing mourners Kaddish is on 282. יתכתב ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברא קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה לאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. Be seated. We're going to begin the memorial. I want to invite the siblings, Ron and Talia and Sherry, to come up and light a candle. As a way of bringing both light into this sad time and a reminder that light in Jewish tradition is likened to the soul, which continues to burn eternally even after a person's physical presence is no longer with us. So I'll invite you to light the candle in memory of your mom. sense. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. Adonai will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. The guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your protection, a guardian at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all harm and guard your life. Adonai guards your going and coming, now and forever. This coming Shabbat, we will read the final Torah portion from the book of Genesis, of Breshit. It's a story that describes what often takes place at the end of life, in moments of transition. With Jacob, the patriarch, on his deathbed, he offers each of his children a final blessing, a memory, if you will, that stays with you after a loved one has long since passed away. When blessing his grandchildren, Ephraim and Manasseh, he says, Yivarech et hane'arim v'yikareh bahem shemi, v'shem avotai Abraham v'Yitzchak v'yidgu larov b'kerev ha'aretz. He says, bless the lads, in them may my name be recalled. And in the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, may they be teeming multitudes upon the earth. The great Italian Torah commentator Ovadia Sforno, he points out that by giving this blessing to his grandchildren, Jacob wanted his future generations to be linked to his righteous ancestors. Jacob wanted his offspring to know their roots and to make sure that the people who came before were not merely abstract personalities, but as genuine presences in their lives. For Jacob, as the end of life draws near, he wanted to highlight for his descendants the importance of knowing where they came from. Perhaps that is our sacred task today, as we say goodbye to Maxine, to not only honor her memory as a blessing by recalling her story, but to also draw inspiration for how to keep living, motivated by the many blessings that she gave to all of us in life. Maxine was a person who loved unconditionally, especially her children. Even though Talia and Ron and Sherry were often focused on their studies, Maxine made it her lifelong goal, her mission, to be proud, to be supportive, to be non-judgmental, to be their mother, no matter what path you, her kids, took. She always put others first, whether it was her sister Helen of blessed memory, her children, or so many others in life. Maxine knew that the priority were the people who were around her. Perhaps that's one of the main reasons why she had such a deep love for education, to rearing many students, especially her own children. Maxine made sure that her children were blessed with love for reading from an early age and an affinity for the arts. Maxine made a way of modeling the importance to all those around her, the blessing that is of education. She'd open her home up to Tom Bradley when he ran for mayor in the late 60s, and she'd invite teachers to come and to share their concerns and to be heard. Whether it was supporting teachers who were on strike or volunteering in her kids' school on the PTA or helping other kids learn to read, she never lost sight of the most important blessing, a blessing that is to be prioritized in every generation. And while for our patriarch Jacob, it took him a lifetime to recognize the importance of blessing future generations, it was second nature to Maxine from early on. Maxine was born in Los Angeles on April Fool's Day, no joke, April 1st, 1930. Her parents, Fred and Zina, were immigrants from Odessa, Ukraine, and Borisov, Belarus, near Minsk, respectively. Maxine grew up in Los Angeles, where her parents operated a market and a deli near Echo Park. Her father was also a musician, cello, clarinet, saxophone, and the mandolin, who played at Hollywood parties and theaters and concerts. It was perhaps one of the reasons why Maxine fell in love with the humanities. Maxine developed a close and even protective bond toward her older sister, Helen, and later in life, her husband, Mark, of blessed memory as well. Even when they got older, Helen and Maxine planned their pregnancies so that they could happen more or less around the same time, so that Terry and Talia and David and Ron could be born around the same moments. And if it wasn't for Maxine having a little bit of nausea during the second pregnancy, Sherry and Lynn probably would have been born around the same time too. Family was always an important part of her upbringing. It was a regular thing that all of the cousins would play and get together. And even in life, later in life, when Marcy and Joseph and David and Lee entered the family as well. That close-knit nature of the blessing of family. During her childhood, Maxine and her family moved frequently around Los Angeles. Her parents, at one point, they owned 6 units at the Meadowbrook in LA, where she lived with her aunt and her uncle and her grandparents. And because there was a sizable Asian community living there as well, Maxine developed an interest in East Asian culture, religion, and philosophy, something that she would come to later explore in life during her travels with Simcha. After graduating from John Marshall High School in 1947, she spent 2 years at LA City College and then transferred to the University of California, Berkeley, where she graduated in 1952 with a BA. And it was at Cal that she met Simcha. Sim had recently returned to the United States from Israel, and he was transitioning back into his new life in California. While finishing his undergraduate and master's degrees in mechanical engineering, he met his beloved Maxine at a Hillel social event. They were married August 30th, 1953, and they spent more than 55 years of marriage together, just shy of celebrating their 56th anniversary, about a month or so before Sim passed away in the summer of 2015. Throughout their life together, there was always this discussion that they might return to live in Israel. And during their early years of marriage, while Simcha worked for Kaiser Engineers in Oakland, they moved the family to Israel just after Ron was born. But after realizing that the job wasn't originally as advertised, not nearly challenging enough for Sim, Maxine and Sim returned to the States, eventually moving back to the Bay Area and ultimately to LA in 1960. Sherry was welcomed to the family 2 years later. Even though Sim might say that the job in Israel wasn't the right fit, there were certain Israeli idiosyncrasies for Maxine that never quite sat well with her, like going to the market and then bringing the live fish and putting it in the bathtub until they were ready to cook it. No, for Maxine, she preferred a more westernized, a convenient lifestyle. You know, the one with like grocery stores and a washer and a dryer. In 1973, Maxine and Sim returned back to the Bay Area, where Sim worked at the Bechtel Corporation. They enjoyed almost 40 years together in their Foster City home. During those years, Maxine brought even more blessing into the world through her involvement with the American Association of University Women. She loved how the AAUW focused its efforts on empowering women to pursue higher education, advanced degrees, and leadership roles. In many ways, this was Maxine's way of reconnecting with her love of education and teaching. And with the Foster City Rec Center nearby, Maxine was able to resume her passion for dancing and art, taking classes in watercolor, pastels, and oil painting. You could say it was a talent she was blessed with from a young age. Sherry, you shared how you could witness this evolution in her painting style. You could watch it become more and more abstract as she got older. And even when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's later in life, she was able to still find joy through painting. Yet among Maxine's greatest blessings in life was the love that she shared for her grandchildren, Jenna and Zach. Maxine's life in Foster City was filled with many blessings. But to say that she spoiled you among all of them is a bit of an understatement. Waffles and brownies, regular Sunday breakfast at her house at Sterling Court, and most importantly, there was always room for dessert. You'll actually be able to taste some of her favorite delicacies that Jenna and probably other members of the family got to bake over the last day or so. Cookies and ice cream, they were the perfect snack for her children when they came home from school at the end of the day. And it wasn't uncommon for Maxine to take leftover chocolate chips or a sugar packet, put in her purse, and save for later. Jenna, you shared how your grandmother taught you all about makeup and wearing jewelry, especially because the two of you bonded over the fact that you did not have your ears pierced. She apparently had this very lavish collection of clip-ons that you were able to sample at your leisure. In fact, your grandmother allowed you to bring out a bit more of a mischievous side. She was the one who encouraged you that it was okay to make a mess time and time again. And it was not an uncommon thing for her to use her love of New Age philosophy to make sure that blessings kept coming. Even though Sim thought it was crazy, Maxine loved to get her tarot cards read or to visit a psychic. The 20th century philosopher and theologian Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, he once remarked that the authentic individual is neither an end nor a beginning, but a link between ages, both memory and expectation. To us, recollection is a holy act. We sanctify the present by remembering the past. To us, the essence of faith is memory. To believe is to remember. I think that might be what was at the root of Jacob's blessing to his children and grandchildren, sanctifying the past as inspiration as they sought to build a better future. And I think there is no better way to link the past to the present and to the future than to invite Maxine's family to share their memories as we remember and celebrate her life. So I want to invite Talia and David and Sherry to share a few words about Maxine.
Thank you all for coming. Maxine was not only a wonderful mother, but she was also my best friend. She was also a confidant and a very important role model. I was very lucky to have an elementary school teacher as my mother. She dedicated her time to teaching us to read before we were in kindergarten, which gave us a good head start in school. And she always encouraged us to read and take us to the library to get like a stack of 10 books to take home every week. She taught us to be kind and polite, non-judgmental and accepting of all types of people. These were qualities that she had in spades. And she was very good at teaching by example. She was very intelligent, and she was probably also a great child psychologist. I remember when my brother and I were very young, probably 5 and 7, that we found some cigarettes that the neighbor had left. And instead of telling us, no, don't touch those, or those are, for adults or bad for you, she says, oh, you want to smoke? And she said, yeah. So she gave us each a cigarette, and she lit it, and she says, okay, take a deep breath. And of course we're coughing, and we're like, so, do you like it? No, this is horrible. How can people do this? She goes, yeah, you're right. See, it's not a good idea to smoke. And I've never smoked, even after peer pressure. Anyway, she was, as was already said, she was very interested in the arts and also anthropology. She loved learning about people from various cultures, and she treated everyone with equal respect. And since she was also such a good listener and very supportive and encouraging, it was so easy to have her as a confidant and a best friend. She was open to new ideas, and we had a lot of fun together with the astrology, numerology, psychics. Got some rejuvenation pills that worked really well. But we also traveled together in Europe. When I was about 18 years old, I wanted to take a trip to Europe with some girlfriends, but I didn't have any girlfriends that were available at the time. And my mom said, oh, I want to go. So I said, okay. And she let me plan out the whole trip myself. This was back in the mid-70s, so there was no internet. I had to mail letters to all the hotels asking for reservations. And she went along with everything I planned. We had a great time visiting museums and going out. I also loved going with her shopping in San Francisco. We would go to, I don't know how many people remember iMagnet. It doesn't exist anymore. but we love to go to iMagnet and go shopping and then get lunch. Anyway, she was also a really great role model in the sense that she had this selfless dedication to her family, to her friends, and also to improving public education. She was admired for her leadership roles in AAUW, the American Association for University Women, and also her generous charitable contributions. Anyway, when Maxine got Alzheimer's, she was still very easygoing. She was a joy to be with, and she just went with the flow always. She just, nothing really riled her. She would just always be easy to get along with. But anyway, above all else, she was a very loving person, and she was loved by many. She will always be with me in my heart. Thank you.
But I cannot avoid crying. But thank you all for coming to celebrate the life of this wonderful woman. I mean, the words that come to my mind when I think of Maxine, and it's already been said, and I'll just reinforce it, but immediately she was a caring person, she was very supportive, and she was very intelligent. I had the opportunity to meet Maxine in 2002 in Israel, and it was a wonderful time. I mean, we met family, we met friends, we had wonderful discussions, we had lots of great food. It was just a wonderful experience for me. And then in 2006, I had a greater honor, and that was to become part of her family by marrying Talia and being part of the family, which was really a blessing to me. And it was special because my mother passed away about 30 years ago, and that left a deep void in my life, needless to say. So I was really hurting for a long period of time. And then to have someone like Maxine come in and be kind of an adopted mother was just extra special to me. I have many wonderful memories with Maxine, but I think some of my favorite memories, I mean, she was an avid reader, as you can imagine by what's been said already. I love to read as well, but I think some of the magic moments that I had with her were sitting on her sofa alone with her in her home in Foster City and talking about our favorite writers and authors and books and kind of our own interpretations of what that meant. And that was just a very special time, kind of a one-on-one experience that I had and shared with her. I mean, the other thing that I remember as well, we'd wake up early in the morning. Maxine woke up even earlier, and she was at the breakfast table reading, immersed in the newspaper. And I, like her, I get excited every Sunday morning just going to get the New York Times off the driveway. So I'm a big newspaper reader myself, but I'd come sit at the table beside her, and it quickly evolved into beautiful conversations around travel, around fashion, around art, around politics, or whatever. But again, just a lot of really personal conversations that I'll always remember with her. I guess, the other thing I was thinking, it was said again, I think, probably all along, the energy is never destroyed. I mean, it's only transformed. And I think even though she's not with us here physically, she's obviously here with us in spirit. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing was, so after my mother passed away about 30 years ago, I was in a bookshop, this is pre-Amazon, and I was looking for my next great read. And I actually came across a passage in a book, kind of randomly, so maybe it found me, I don't know. But it gave me a lot of comfort. And I shared that with friends throughout the years when they've lost members of their family, and they'd give me feedback. They were very appreciative, and they enjoyed it. So I thought that I would share it with you today. And I think of all places I found this, I call it a passage. There was no credit given to anyone who wrote it, but I think it was actually inside of a Tom Clancy book, if you can believe that. Maybe he wrote it for a loved one or whatever. Regardless, here I go. And if I go while you're still here, know that I live on, vibrating to a different measure, behind the veil you cannot see through. You will not see me, so you must have faith. I wait for the time when we can soar together again, both aware of each other. Until then, live your life to its fullest. And when you need me, sorry, just whisper my name in your heart and I will be there. I hope you can understand that. I mean, it makes me think of my own mother and parents as well. Anyway, thank you.
So I'm Sherry, the youngest. So I think, it's been a lot of years, since my mom came down with Alzheimer's, and I became very focused on taking care of her. And in the last few days, it's been really nice to start to reflect what it is that she gave me and not be thinking, about what I need to do next for her. And she gave me a lot of gifts and blessings. And a lot of it resonates with things that others have already said. So, as the rabbi mentioned, my father passed about 4 years ago, and I said at the time he gave me grit and initiative and maybe a certain kind of stubbornness. But my mom really gave me, I think, the essence of my personality. And I think those things are empathy. Crying easily. That was definitely her. Sensitivity to needs and moods of everybody around me. So as soon as I see someone cry, I cry. Also, appreciation how others may feel very differently from you in the same situation, and really kind of looking at that and thinking about them as you think about what your reaction is going to be. A certain kind of grace of that my mom just wasn't at all rattled when people might give her bad news or be critical. And she really, it was this kind of lovely way of offsetting folks who sometimes seemed overly aggressive. And I think I learned a little of that from her. The appreciation of art and culture has been said. I love going to museums. I love learning about artists and the history and context of the work. She also exposed me to plays and musicals, and I still get butterflies in my stomach as one of those, productions are about to start. I love learning about other cultures, whether it's through travel or going to cultural centers, museums, or learning from peers. Humor. So sometimes there would be long silences at home or tensions, and I would crack a joke and my mom would always laugh, and it just reinforced that happened to me. And I know I've got some colleagues here who know that I can't handle too long of a silence without cracking a joke. She also gave me a lot of confidence to try difficult things, that unconditional love we've been talking about. She always was like, oh, I can't believe how wonderful you are at school or at work or at this or at that. And I know all the things that I had done wrong, but somehow her belief in me just made me want to keep trying to do more things. Also, when we were first parenting, it was pretty stressful. You don't know if you're doing the right thing. She was full of praise all the time about how wonderful of parents we were, and it was very reassuring. Her love of education, that definitely translated to me. It's part of my profession. I also believe in it as a way to provide everybody with a fuller life. And also, she was a wonderful teacher, and I like to think that I learned some things from her about how to help support and teach others. And then I think her passion for human rights. Part of her empathy is, I think she recognized how she would feel in a lot of situations where people have historically and currently are discriminated against or face barriers. And so she always gave to organizations and did work around those issues, including teacher unions, and I'm definitely still a union person, and political efforts as well, and believe the importance of being active. So I'm really grateful for all those gifts, and I do think that that helps carry her legacy on. Thank you.
I just wanted to express also some gratitude to Rabbi Jane, who is here, who works with Vitas Hospice, and I know has been an integral part of the journey of Maxine's over the last few years, and also for the family as a presence for her throughout her journey, and just offer a word of praise about hospice and the beauty that it provides someone to live with dignity, to be able to live with their goals in mind, and to give them that sense of being able to do the things that are important for them, and to feel like they can be seen in all moments of life and as they live their final moments of life. So thank you, my gratitude to you on my own behalf and on behalf of the family. Later in life, Maxine and Simcha enjoyed traveling together, especially as a way of being able to nurture her interests in cultures and philosophies and religions. And as you probably read in her biography, she visited Russia and New Zealand and China, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Canada, Israel, many of the European countries, and of course a family Alaskan cruise for their 50th wedding anniversary. But one of the things that I admire the most as I was learning about her from all of you was that she always conveyed this sense of positivity and grace. She had this ability to see life as a positive, no matter the challenge that she faced. I learned that when she was younger, she struggled with depression. And while many in her generation would have remained hidden while living with depression, Maxine reached out. She got counseling. She found her way toward a more satisfying existence, toward living a life with more self-esteem and self-confidence. And even later, when she realized that she couldn't drive anymore or live at home by herself, she handled those challenging transitions willingly, positively, and gracefully. People like our patriarch Jacob and like Maxine, they remind me of the importance of the blessing of memory. It's how we express our love and thanks to those who gave us life. It gives us the power to immortalize our loved ones and to help us grow with each passing year. In life, Maxine gave us the blessings of living positively with grace, with a love of learning and of teaching in the next generation, of the beauty that comes from art of all kinds, and of cherishing the preciousness of family. Rabbi Morris Adler once wrote a prayer for remembering the blessings of those who came before us. Thank you, O Sovereign of life and love, for the resurrecting gift of memory which endows your children with the godlike power to give immortality through love. Blessed are you who enables your children to remember. Maxine lived her life as a blessing to so many, and now, as we say goodbye, we honor her. We remember her forever as a blessing. Amen. I'm going to invite Cantor Duron to chant a selection from Psalm 23, and then we'll recite a memorial blessing before concluding with the mourner's prayer, the Kash.
Yeah. ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי ילך בגיא צל מוות לא יירא כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך מפני שולחן נגד צורריי. נשענת בשמן ראשי כוסי רוויה. אך טוב החסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי. ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים.
If we're able to invite you to please stand as we recite the memorial blessing, followed by the mourner's prayer.
אל מלא רחמים שוכן בגולים. המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי שכינה. ומעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים. את נשמת מקסין בת פרד בזינה שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן מנוחתה. אנא בעל הרחמים הסתיריה בסדק כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום על משכבה. ונאמר
Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of our dear Maxine, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she and Sim forever rest in peace. And let us all say,
Amen.
Mourner's Kaddish is on page 282. 282. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה קירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ויומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ומעל מיה, ויתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי בקודשה ובריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ועלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. You're welcome to be seated. I want to thank you all for being here as we remember Maxine and for your support of the family. Just two quick announcements. One, the Wise Aging session tomorrow night will be at 7 o'clock. And for those who would like, also the beginning of the North Peninsula Scotland Residence Program will begin also tomorrow night at 7:30. It's a whole week-long series of conversations around anti-Semitism across the spectrum. The speaker, Michael Greenbaum, will be here at PSC Friday night at 7:30. I highly encourage you and your friends to come and to learn about what's going on within the world of anti-Semitism. At the conclusion tonight, I want to invite people to come to the back and to see all of the beautiful works of Maxine's art, as well as many pictures and maybe even other, are you putting on the movies as well?
Yeah, slideshow.
The slideshow. There's going to be Shiva at Lee and Sherry's home on Thursday night in San Mateo, visiting hours from 6:30 to 8:30. Minyan will be at 7 p.m. for those who can come. And I would also just say that we're going to conclude tonight with perhaps the most important way that we can, which is to celebrate a person's life through the act of eating dessert. So please do so, not just because I've asked you to, but because it would bring great joy to Maxine to know that we ended with dessert. May her memory endure as a blessing. Thank you all for being here for the family.
Oh, you saw my hug today?
May I get a copy of this?
Oh,
The Tom Clancy.
No, it's okay.
I just keep thinking of the...
So if anyone's still there, I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the art exhibit, and then we're going to go. I have no idea. So this is pictures and other artifacts here from Maxine and her parents. You can see her, there we go. You can see her dad there in his musical group and all kinds of other pictures. Materials from high school and college and when she was teaching. From their wedding. From, when the family came together, they had kids, they traveled, passports, and lots of other later pictures. And then you can also see some of her artwork over here. We might scan some of this later so people can see it in more detail. Okay, we're going to say goodnight. Thanks all. Good. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Sally. I'm trying to figure out how to kill this. I'll give it to Zach at that.
Do you have many
Hey,
viewers?
Zach. All right, thanks. Zach, can you kill this?
Oh, yeah.
Or say goodbye.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.